Guys, you have actually now built an application, whether that might be a web app or a mobile app. So in the case of the pushing out to the production, so you'll not be immediately pushing it to the production, right? In the case of the web app, you'll have the waitlist, or in the case of the mobile app as well, you'll have the waitlist that you'll create for your application. And then based on the waitlist, you'll give the access to the application to test it out, and then you'll finally push it to production. So that's the flow that we usually follow, right? So if you are building a mobile app, so I mean this also applies to the web app as well. So if you are building a mobile app or web app, the thing that you have to worry a lot in the case of putting out the waitlist is regarding the backend. So usually for the landing page or the waitlist page, the like I mean only for the form submission or the waitlist collection, you need to create a backend and a database properly. So that is like going to take a lot of time for a simple task, which is just to take an email of the user. So that is something that I have like been using previously as well. Like I used to create a backend and a database just to collect a email. So now I have found a different tool which actually does this in like maybe 2 to 3 minutes, and you could just put a single line of code in your website and everything is taken care by itself. So also regarding that particular tool, you could also set up an automatic reply where when someone tries to submit a form in your website, an automatic reply is triggered from the tool where you don't have to separately set up an automation or something like that. And also it also has a webhooks. Like this is going to be a complete flow or complete tutorial on how to implement it, and regarding the connection of it, like how do you set up that in your platform. So yeah, that's the whole point of the video. If this sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. So the main thing that like the advantage that we have here is like you could create whatever UI that you want for your waitlist, or this also work for contact forms and all. So once you have the UI, like everything is going to be like you could create your own UI. So for few platforms, what happens is they'll be giving you a form where you have to embed that in your website, which is not like, sometimes it's not going to be suitable with your UI. But in this scenario, that's not the case. You will have the right UI. Like you could create your own UI and then you could connect it with it. So the platform that I'm talking about is called FeedbackDock. So I'll just log out. I do have an account. So this is the platform that I'm talking about. So you could completely get started for free regarding the form submissions and all. So they do have a pricing plan. So here you'll have 100 form submissions per month. So if you are just getting started, that should be completely fine. So here I'll just log into my account. So for this particular platform, like the app that I'm building, which is called Rilio, I have used the same approach. Like that's the reason I'm showing you this. So here the waitlist is, this doesn't actually have a backend. So all the waitlist is being collected here. So if I go to forms here, so as you can see, I've created a project here. So this is the waitlist submissions form that I have. So like I'll just give you a complete idea on how you have to set this up and all the other features like regarding automatic reply sending and also the webhooks that it has. So let's just try to go ahead and understand how this has to be set up. So I'll just open up this particular form. Okay, so once you have created a form, you just have to create it. So once you have created, all the submissions would look here. So you could just check for all the submissions here, and then you'll have the fields option. So this is the place where you have to put out or classify the fields. So let's say here in my scenario, I only have one thing, which is collection of email. So that's the reason I just put out one feature, like one particular input field, which is email. Let's say if you have to go ahead and add, like all these are the different options that we have. So you could just put out a number, you could put out a URL, long text, or whatever it is. And also you could make it as a required field. If that's a required field, you could make it as a required, or else you could just leave it to the default. So that's the thing regarding the field additions. So once you have added the field, just try to save it. And then here is the beautiful thing in this application. Usually when you are trying to do these form submissions part and all, so what happens is you need to set up a separate system that is going to send the email whenever a form is submitted. So with this platform, you already have it by default. So you could just go ahead and use it. As you can see, I have set it up already. This is the mail. So for this to work, you need to have your own SMTP setup. I'll just tell you where you'll have to set up the SMTP details as well. So if you're not sure about what exactly is SMTP, like if you have a business email, then for sure you'll have the SMTP. So just try to ask your customer support team regarding the SMTP details. If you have a business email, you'll have it, so you could just use it here. So regarding the settings, here this is the part where you have to configure all the things. So this is a waitlist name, and this is the main important thing that you have to really take care of, which is allowed origins. So here you have to put out your website URL. So this form is only going to accept the submissions that are coming from this particular website, so that even though your form ID is compromised, or even though your form ID is, I mean, obviously your form ID is going to be there in the front end, which everybody could see. So the thing that is going to be validated here is your origin, which we call it as CORS, cross origin resource sharing. So that is something that is going to be there here, and that's the thing in the settings part. And regarding the social proof, this is something that is also there for in the free plan completely. So if you have to enable this up, so you have to set up a simple widget on your website where the people, you could customize this again based on the fields that you have. You could customize this, so this comes as a pop-up on your website, like it's going to look pretty cool. That is also available in the tool. And then we this is the final step that you have to do regarding the setup of it. I mean, as you can see, all these are very simple steps that you have to consider. That's it. So here this is all the details that you have to like, I mean, if you want to implement it with code, that's completely fine. You could choose your tech stack from directly here, like the one that you're using, or else if you want to just give it to an AI tool, just copy the prompt, give it to an AI tool, it's going to do the job perfectly. So that is regarding the setup of it. Now I just want you to show you where you could actually set up the SMTP details so that the emails can be sent. This is where you have to set up your details. I have my email on recent, so that's the reason I have these SMTP. And like, you could just if you're not sure what exactly are they, you could search on Google regarding the platform that you are using and SMTP details, or you would just reach out to the customer support team. They'll help you out with it. That's the thing here. And let's just try to set up a webhook for this, so that like the entire flow will have it perfectly there. If you are setting up the webhook, just try to I'll use N8N for it. I'll just go to N8N and we'll use the webhook from N8N. So I'll just click on create workflow, and I'll just name it as Rilio test workflow. So I'll save it. I'll have the trigger as webhook. So this is the URL, right? And I'll put it to respond immediately. So it needs to be a post URL. So I'll copy the test one, and then I'll go to FeedbackDock. I'll click on add endpoint. I'll name it as Rilio test, and I'll just add the endpoint here. So it has to be with starting with the HTTPS. Make sure to add it. And here we have two options. In the case of feedback, if you are collecting the feedback, let's say I'll just show you an example how feedback thing would work. I'll just move my video. So this is regarding the feedback. As you can see, you could just attach a form from the same approach. You could just have the feedback form here, and then like once the feedback is submitted, it would come into that particular platform. That is regarding the feedback which is there. So you could just check with that in this platform directly. And as of now we are doing it with form submission, right? So you could just choose out the project scope, which is Rilio in my case. And regarding the form, whichever form that you want, like whenever which form is submitted, we want to trigger this webhook, which is in my case waitlist. So I just don't want the deliveries to be signed again in with N8N and all. You just don't need them. So if you are implementing it with code, you could sign your deliveries where a secret code is sent in the header every time when a webhook is triggered. So if you are not sure of it, then just try to uncheck this option and you could create the endpoint. So once the endpoint is created, you should be able to have the endpoint. As you can see, now it's turned on. So we just have to listen for the event, and then I'll go to Rilio. I'll do one thing, I'll just submit it. So this is my email. I'm just clicking it on join waitlist, and this is my own thing, right? So that's the reason I'm doing it. So here I have set up an auto reply, and also I have set up a webhook, right? So let's just go ahead and see one by one. So I'll just open up my Gmail. As you can see, we have now got the same email here. And if we go to the webhooks thing, as you can see, this is the webhook that we have received. And as you can see, I now have my email here. So that's the thing. So I think like it's now completely like this is the complete flow you'll have. So that is the complete flow that is with this. So this is how you could simply implement your complete form collection, or like waitlist collection, or like this also works for contact forms as well. Like whatever the idea that you have regarding the form collections and things like that, you could just use this platform. I'll leave the link to it in the description. You could just check it out and create a free account and use it up. So few of the options are paid, but if you want to take up the premium plan, that should be completely fine as well. So that's the complete thing about the video. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you could just put them in the comments. I'll be happy to help you out. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.